Hi everybody, how's it going? I'm Pabs, a Ryzaman VTuber and an artist, and today we're going to be doing a little bit of 3D modeling. So, I usually do 3D modeling in Blender, mainly because it's the only free program that I know of. I want to try out Sculptris again. I remember I used Sculptris a lot in high school, but it doesn't have kind of this... It's a sculpting program, it's not like a, what do you call it, like a full modeling program like Blender is. So it doesn't have a lot of the same functionalities. Hey, okay, that's perfect. It's been a while, yeah. How you doing? But yeah, today we're going to be modeling a character that I have called Ryzaman, who... I say character that I have, it's just me in like a tokusatsu outfit. So it's not really all that different. Good, how are you today? I'm doing good, thank you for asking. Let me find the reference though, because I realize now that there's like a lot... Hang on. Let me try and pull this up, hang on. I'll head over to the working screen for the moment. Alright, how do I... I'm trying to think about the sequence of this. So I think what I'll do first is probably open up... Oh, that's not the right... I hit my own source. Okay, that was absolutely not what I meant to do. Where's my Clip Studio Paint source? I need to start adding like folders to these things because I keep losing my different sources. I have so many now. There we go. Okay, so this is the character of Ryzaman. I don't have like a what do you call it, like a full 3D turnaround of him, but what I am going to do is I'm just gonna like take a screenshot of like this pose down here. Save that, get that over to Blender, and hopefully I'll be able to figure something out. Yeah, I'm familiar enough with my own proportions that I can probably just, like, eyeball it. Listen, it'll be fine. I don't need to overthink anything. It's kind of like that one... Alright, hang on, I gotta, like... It's like that one joke where it's like, I don't understand why I have to renew my license. I'm the same dude as last year. I'm the same dude for life. I don't know why I have to renew my licenses. Obviously, I imagine it's like for anti-fraudulent purposes. Porpoises. I never understood the difference between, you know, because like, I've never understood the difference between dolphins and porpoises. I know that narwhals are a thing. I know that narwhals are like an actual thing, but I'm not sure what the difference is between like a dolphin and a porpoise. Man. Where did I save this friggin' thing? I swear, if it's in my OneDrive folder, I'm going to lose my marbles. Because... Okay, I can't find it. I'm gonna have to pull it up again because I can't find the screenshot that I took. We're off to a swimming start here, by the way. This is honestly as good as it's gonna get, so... Buckle in. Alright. Let's try this again, yes? Oh no, wait, there it is. Okay, that's... Okay, it's very early in the morning, at least in my time. You know, it's rather early in the morning, so I think you can forgive me for being a little bit scatterbrained. Yeah, up until yesterday, I was actually assembling a new desk. I was, Oh yeah, there he is. Okay. Let's just get this guy in here. Perfect, okay. Yeah, up until yesterday, I was doing a... what do you call it? Alright, we're want the x-axis rotation at 0. Actually, we're going to want that at 90. I accidentally flipped them over. The y-axis rotation at 0. And the z-axis rotation at 0 as well. Or 90. I never get used to this. Okay, location, 0. Actually, I'm gonna say, like... Hang on. Probably over here, and then... over here. I'm gonna put it at like the 0 line, and then on the z-axis I'm gonna put it like down. No, that's fine. On the z-axis I'm gonna put it down a little bit. Okay. Let's see if I still remember how to 3D model. It's been a minute. It's 7 a.m. for you. Oh dear. Yeah. I mean, it is the weekend, so like, you know, it's a weekend, so you should try to like sleep in. I know that, but like at the same time, I feel like if I don't stream early in the morning during the weekend, I'm not gonna get the rest of the stuff I need to get done that day done. Okay, flip that over. Or no, I think I can do Shift D to duplicate, right? Yeah, I can. Okay, put this guy around here. My cat woke me up and she is proud of it. Oh. Well, that's kind of sweet. It's always nice when, like... Well, no, it's not always nice when, like, a pet wakes you up, but that is kind of sweet, like... Well, I don't know. I've never had a cat wake me up before. I don't think I've had any pets wake me up before. My pets are usually lazier than I am. I haven't had a whole lot of pets. I hosted a dog once. My family hosted a dog once because her owner was kind of went on vacation for a little bit, so we kind of had to just take care of the dog for a little bit. But that dog was lazy as hell. Yeah, that dog was definitely not interested in... Well, basically anything. That dog was very aloof. Made it easy to take care of, though. I just needed to take it on walks and everything. Yeah. When my cat wakes me up, she slaps me in the face. Okay, yeah, I guess that's not very pleasant. Alright, edit, auto mirror. There we go. Okay. So here's how we do. Alright, first we're gonna like get over here. I also do wonder if maybe I should like get the T-pose reference that I had from my own model, and then just kind of have the Ryzaman reference. Why is Blender so low on my OBS? Perk up, bro. Here we go. Yeah, that's a little bit easier to see, ain't it? Jeez. But yeah, slapping you in the face, huh? Yeah, that's definitely not, like, sweet and gentle at all. I know some cats, like, lay on top of people's faces, like, when they go to... When they want to rest, like, the cat will just, like, lay on top of your face and basically try to smother you. Not on purpose, naturally, but, like, they will do that. I've heard of that happening. My cat is staring at my soul right now. Oh dear. Yeah, it's always weird. For pets, I feel like it's very hit or miss. Whenever they, like... Hang on. Oh, I need to go into object mode. Yeah, I feel like for pets, it's very hit or miss when you stare at them. Because it's always like... You can either tell that there's zero brain activity going on there, or like it's just like you can see them beholding things that you yourself were never meant to know. She won't blink. Yeah. Cats are famous for that, right? Like the not blinking thing. Yeah, I remember that it's very easy to lose in a staring contest with a cat. I remember that was like a thing. I once won a staring contest against her. Oh, really? Congrats. Okay. Alright, I need to like figure out which one of these is which. Okay. So I'm gonna keep this one. This one I'm gonna get rid of. And this one over here, I'm actually going to like, probably move to the left or the right. Just one, yeah. Yeah, I won a staring contest against her once. Yeah, that's the time you caught her slipping is the thing. Okay, 0. I think that's actually pretty good for like the Y side. She always wins? Yeah. Okay. I mean, what's that look like? Let's see. Yeah, that should be good. Okay, and then this other one, we actually need to flip it around. Rotation, y-axis rotations. No, I'm gonna need to do like 180 or 135, I think. 145. Okay, which was okay. So it is gonna be 180, I think, maybe. No, that's not quite right. Okay, so 90 plus 45 is 135, right? That's how it should be. Oh no, okay, so it'd be 45 degrees then. Okay, also not right. Alright, so maybe 270? 270. Do I hear 270? Yes, okay, it's 270. Yeah, degrees have always been a little bit difficult for me. I think I never managed to like fully understand them back in school. Well, no, I understood them. I actually feel like I'm good with degrees, but I just like don't remember which one is which sometimes. Like, it's hard to relate degrees to the way that Blender's doing them. I'm actually very proud of my, like, spatial sensing capabilities. Like, I feel like I can very easily conceptualize stuff in 3D space, but it's just, like, translating that to Blender is difficult for me. Okay, I'm gonna put these guys in a group. Along with the camera and the light source. Drag these all in here. How do I drag stuff into the collection again? Oh, there we go. And then what I'm also going to do is I'm just going to lower the opacity a little bit. Visibility. Where's the... What? Oh, here it is. It should be in here. Yeah, opacity toggling. There we go. That's how you do it. Okay, now we should be ready to go. You know, that took like, what, 15 minutes of setup? How do cats look so chubby, but somehow they can go through a tiny hole? Oh, I actually know the answer to that. The reason that cats can fit into holes the size of their heads is because they don't have collarbones. If humans didn't have collarbones, we could do that stuff too. I think that's also... Well, octopi don't have bones, but I imagine that if they did, that's also kind of how they would get around the whole being able to fit your head through a tiny hole dilemma. Okay, so I think what I'm actually going to do is going to take these top bits here, lower those down a little bit. Okay, this is going to be interesting because usually I have like this hoodie, right? But Ryzaman is in like lycra or whatever. Spandex, that's the stuff. Yeah, I always have like difficulty remembering like the different names for the different, what do you call, body type materials? Like I'm like, okay, was this one lycra, spandex? Which one was it? Yeah, that's kind of like my one weakness. Well, no, I have a lot of weaknesses. I can't know everything, right? My cat is scary because if you blink, she disappears. Yeah. Alright, hang on. I want to lower this a little bit. And then I want to extend this one. Inset this. Whenever I try to think about like I'm sorry, I'm just remembering the nickname for it and it makes me giggle. Whenever I try to remember what it sounds like or looks like for okay, so you know, making legs in a 3D model is a little bit difficult sometimes because you have like this you have to remember that, like, you have to split them apart. It's the one weakness of, like, this, it's a little bit more difficult when you have it, like, in this mirrored mode. Because usually if you're drawing, you just go like, oh yeah, the pelvis would kind of end here and you would split the legs here. But like in 3D modeling, you actually have to like split the model a little bit. And I always I think that's what consistently trips me up the most, is that I keep forgetting how to do that sometimes, or what the best way to do that is. And the end result of that is that very often I end up like with the character having a completely square ass. And I remember this because like one time a VTubing colleague of mine, she literally came to the stream and called me old square ass for like the one 3D model I made. God, that was actually a really funny. That was a really funny moment, because whenever I remember that, like, because whenever I make a low poly model now, I just remember old square ass, and it just makes me smile a little bit. Do I just scale this outward? Yeah, I think that's the case. I wonder if that'll work, actually. Alright. Well, let's take a look. It looks fine from here. It does... Oh, shoot. Okay, hang on. I'm seeing a problem. Alright. There we go. He looks like he has skis. Yeah, it does. We'll fix that soon, though. Don't worry about it. Yeah. I actually never have tried skiing. I've tried snowboarding. One time my parents took my brother and me to a ski resort. One of the worst experiences I've had, because first of all, I was like 7, so I was like, oh yeah, I like ski. I want to learn how to snowboard. But you have like the body understanding. As you get older, your kind of awareness of your own body increases. So it's easier to pick up stuff when, physical stuff when you're older a little bit, because you have, when you're a kid, you're constantly growing, you're constantly changing bit by bit. It's very difficult to have like that awareness of your body. When you're an adult, your body is kind of, permanent. It's not going to change very much over time. What I'm trying to say is that I completely, I ate shit on the snowboarding course at that ski resort real bad. Yeah. I used to have really bad balance. It's gotten better now. I had really bad balance, but it's gotten better now. Yeah. Weirdly enough, I don't have particularly good balance, but I'm also like very difficult to trip. It's very paradoxical. Like if I am forced to balance, I'm going to fall over. But if it's somebody trying to trip me, it's usually not really a problem. It's very strange. I don't know why I'm built like that. It's a Goomba? Am I a Goomba? I have arms. I'm not a Goomba. Hang on, I'm not a Goomba. Alright, I actually had a moment of severe existential crisis right there, because I was wondering if I technically qualify as a Goomba. I have arms. I'm not a Goomba. I think that's a requirement, that you can't have arms if you're a Goomba. Yeah, look at that. It's looking better already. Okay, I do need to raise the torso a little bit though. Okay, extend this out a little bit for my tum. Scale this on the y-axis a little bit. Scale this also on the y-axis a little bit. Bring that down. Perfect. I am extremely wide, though. I feel like I'm almost a little too wide. A buddy of mine noticed that as I've kind of continued drawing myself, I'm actually getting wider. I'm drawing myself wider. And while that's not necessarily a bad thing or a problem, you know, sometimes it slips the hand a little bit. You know, I tip a little bit too much in the favor of wideness. I'm a big bag of rice. Yeah, exactly. I'm a big dude. I'm a man of gravity. I'm very bowed. Okay. I'm gonna add a second cube for the helmet. I almost feel like I need to scale like the entire thing up a little bit. Raise it up. And get that down. Okay. Yeah, these shoes are a little too long. I also need to raise this up a little bit because I want the boots to be slightly tall. Then lower this a little bit, and then take these out just a smidgen. It still feels like those boots are like wider than, like longer than they are wide. This looks so confusing. If I tried that, I would probably quit 5 seconds in. Well, good news. I also quit 5 seconds in when I first tried 3D modeling. No, like, the thing is, right? You see me doing this, and it looks interesting, and it looks cool, but it did take me like a month of almost a very consistent kind of training to get to this point. I think throughout most of October, actually, was kind of like my training arc for Blender, and it did pay off. Like, you can see that I'm actually much more comfortable with the program now. I am much more comfortable with the program, and I have like much better control of it. There's still stuff I don't have full I still need to get more competent with. Like, for example, like what do you call rigging. I still don't know how to rig properly, so I want to learn how to do that next. And so yeah, if you look at this and you're like, what sort of alien fuckery is this? That's normal. That's kind of what happens with 3D modeling, is that you don't understand anything at first, and then as you kind of like continue, you're like, oh, okay, that's what alien fuckery this is. Yeah, 3D modeling has been one of the most frustrating and rewarding things that I've learned, because once you understand it, it's like, it's almost like the reverse of riding a, well, no, it's not like the reverse of riding a bicycle. It's almost like, how do I put this? You are going to need to fail a lot to understand what you're doing wrong. And that's not a great advertisement for learning that skill. I understand that, but it's just kind of just gonna stick the pen up. Yeah. No, that's also fair. Like, I wanted to learn how to do 3D modeling because I wanted to make my own 3D model. And I did manage to do that. I managed to make a Paths 3D model a little while ago. I showed it off a couple times, but it's very scuffed. I'm not gonna... like, even with the training arc and everything, it's still extremely scuffy. But, you know, I made it, and I like it, so... My art is so good on there, I finally learned to shape better. Nice! Yeah, that's always super satisfying when, like, you learn a new kind of workflow. I'm gonna... This is gonna be hubris. I'm gonna extend the ass out a little bit. Just a little bit. The legend of Square Ass must be preserved. Just a little bit of Square Ass. Just like a rear bumper. Hang on. Actually, I got an idea for this. It doesn't look like a blob, but I can finally tell what I drew. Ah, yeah, that's always a very satisfying point where you're... Yeah, I feel like that's when I also like thought to myself, hey, I'm actually getting good at art, when like people could consistently tell what I was trying to draw. And it wasn't like, hey, so like what's this part supposed to be? And I'm like, oh, that's supposed to be this part. Like once you get past that stage and you realize that, hey, I can like consistently illustrate the things that I'm trying to draw, that's when it really starts getting fun. You know, that's when like your power limiters are removed. Because if you think about it, art really is just communication. It's trying to kind of like explain an idea in your head through images. And once you can reliably do that, well then the world's your oyster. Before my art looked like it was squished. Yeah, we've all been there. I'm wondering how wide I should make the belt, because you can see that it's fairly wide down here, but the problem is that ironically enough, because of my ass hubris, I ended up being unable to make the belt much thicker than this, but I think that works for our purposes. I think that should be fine. Okay, so then I think the next part is making the arms. So I am going to go back to face mode. I am going to go into the X perspective. Actually gonna like put this part up a little bit more. No, that needs to be like further back as well. G and on the Y-axis, I guess. I need to add like hang on. I need to add like an additional face here. But that's gonna be a problem. Unless... No, that's gonna be a problem. Hang on. I need to figure this out, otherwise it's gonna look like I have the world's worst case of dude camel toe. Trust me, that is not a scene you want to look at. Oh wait, maybe if I just lower this part here. Had to let my cat outside so she could play? Nice. Yeah, I think that's gonna have to do it. And then I'll just go back to this part here. Ooh, okay, I see the problem here. This one's a bit of a pickle. What if I just like extruded right here? I wonder what happens if I just wanted to extrude right here. Yeah, I think that works. I feel like that works. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. It's a little awkward around right here where it meets, but I think that should be fine. Okay. So the next part I think would be the arms. So let's grab the old knife tool. If I can find it with K. Thank you, brain, for reminding me. Another one over here. Then we can just select these phases here to solve them. And then, oh, did that actually? Yeah, okay, that created a fill. That's nice. I barely got to sleep last night. I was so busy trying to learn how to draw better, but I barely got nowhere. I mean, you know, there's a saying, right? Like, there's a saying in my family, más vale un burro bien dormido que un sabio trasnochado, which basically translates to, it's better to have a well-rested donkey than a sleep deprived sage. So, you know, well, it's great that you're trying to, you know, how do I put this? Like, it's good to want to have that passion to like go deep into the night and while training, but make sure that you get plenty of rest, okay, as well, because that's the way that you're gonna like remember everything. I lost track of time. Okay, yeah, we've all been there. Yeah. Hang on, I gotta like... Why isn't it letting me select this face? Oh, it's because I'm not selected on the loop. Okay. Alright, hang on. Dissolve edges. This one too? Dissolve edges. Oops. Okay, that did not do what I was expecting it to. Alright, hang on. I'm gonna like unmake all of this. Okay, so it's not letting me unmake that. Time goes by so fast, and it felt like 3 video, but it was more. Yeah. No, I know what you mean. Like, the worst thing that can happen to me on any given night is I'm like, it's like 12 in the morning, and I'm like, you know what? I should make a character design. That's the worst thing that can happen to me, because I always like I always go like, okay, it's 3 AM now, but I finally got a design that I don't hate. That's real, and it can happen to you. It can happen it happens to the best of us. Solve faces. No, hang on, I need to like merge these two somehow. If I delete these two, right? If I delete these faces, then select here and press fill, and I go back here and I delete these two faces, and then I go here and press fill. No, that's not gonna work. Yeah, I need to figure out how to do this. I need to like, how far back can I go? Okay, about this far back? Okay, I can live with that, hang on. First of all, let's switch to the lasso mode for this thing. Just grab all of these and delete those. When I draw, I look at the time, it says 9:40, and I look away for a minute, it says 9:55, and it's like only a minute, but it wasn't. Yeah, that happens. That will happen. Okay, if I delete all these vertices, what's gonna happen? Okay, so then I think the next thing I gotta do is select this one, this one, this one, and this one, and then press fill. Okay, yeah, that's gonna work. Okay, that'll work. That's good to know. We have a way forward. Okay, perfect. Yeah, this is much better. This is much better topology. But yeah, I think the best thing you can do when it comes to like practice is literally and I find that this works for me, so it might not work for everybody. But find a playlist or something that you enjoy, like a music playlist, and you don't even need to have it like unmuted if you're trying to focus, but what I do recommend is that you try to use that as a timer for how long you should be working. Because again, it's good to like want to learn new things. I'm never gonna tell anybody like, hey, don't do that. But I find that it's much easier to do when you have like a solid schedule. You know, it's much easier to do it in moderation. It's bothering. Speaking of moderation, it's bothering me that like I'm not getting these like straight. Hang on. Can I like snap these to grip? To grid? Yeah, there we go. And then just move these down. Perfect. Okay. Also, I'm gonna move this like gap here a little further along. Okay, I don't know what that just did. Oh, did I not select some of these by accident? I might have done that. Hang on. Okay, I don't know why it's not letting me, like, move it along the normal unless... No, that should be fine. Hang on. Something's weird about this arm. I don't trust it. I'm going back a couple steps. Loop tools, oh wait, no, I can snap these to grid. Actually, I'm gonna extrude one more and then I'm gonna bring this back. My favorite art is like the detailed bendy art, and it turns out so good. Oh, bendy art, okay. Now, and this is a legitimate question. I'm not trying to pick a fight or anything. When you say bendy art, do you mean like bendy in the ink machine, or bendy as in like, you know, mind bendy? Because those are two genres with some overlap, but almost exclusively none. The ink machine. Okay, yeah. Yeah. I honestly really like working with ink. I wish I could do it more often. I've said that a couple times on stream, but it is just a lot of fun to work with ink. Okay, and then scale that out. It's so easy to draw. Yeah. Let's see. Big old gloves. I want some big old gloves. Scale that. Oh god. Okay, maybe scale that along the normals, or... Oh god, that looks really bad. That looks really weird. I look like I have a Magman arm cannon on my hands, which isn't bad, but it's not what I'm going for. But yeah, it's a lot of the times with these kind of like older cartoon characters, it's they're fun to draw and easy to draw because they sometimes I do Five Nights at Freddy art before I only did the faces, but I've gotten so far I try to do full body drawings. Nice. Yeah, what I find is that with a lot of like older cartoon characters, they have like enough elements to be recognizable. So that okay. So here's a fun fact about me. I ended up, when I started drawing, I did it with the idea in mind that I wanted to do like a comic with my characters, so something that's been a big influence in my style is like simplicity. I want to be able to like draw my characters like with in a very short amount of time, so they just look like normal dudes. Like, you know, you see characters in like Genshin Impact or something, and they have like extremely detailed designs that are kind of difficult to do. I'm like, I'm not drawing all that, so I just like give them a normal t-shirt and I'm just like, yeah, call it a day. Yeah. I want to try and split this part here. Oh, not what I meant to do. I forgot that splitting something was like with Control R. I also need to make like a knife tool point right here. Can I snap this to grid as well? Hang on. Snap the grid. Oops. Alright, maybe... Okay, none of this seems to be working out quite well. Alright, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna, like, put this along this line here. One thing I'm trying to learn how to draw is to draw something so it shines. Oh! Yeah, that learning how to render metal is super important. Or, you know, making something look shiny is super important. I learned how to render metal by literally just googling how to render chrome, and I've just been using that as a guideline for how to render metal ever since then. Alright, hang on. Okay, snap vertices to grid. Perfect, okay. And then I want to do the same thing for these. Snap vertices to grid. Okay, so this is not quite what I wanted, but that's fine. I can deal. Wii Sports. What? Wii Sports Resort, yeah. I played a lot of Wii Sports as a kid. It was fun. I enjoyed that, honestly. It's the hands. Oh. Yeah, I can see that now. Okay, now that you said that it's the hands, yeah, I can see that. You know something that I referenced the other day that nobody like got was, it reminds me of the Wii Sports. Yeah, okay. I see that now. I see that now. Yeah. Something that I referenced the other day, which I'm surprised not a lot of people, like, remembered. Well, mainly because it wasn't that surprising that nobody knew what I was referencing, because it was, you know, not my life experiences are by no means universal. But it like did surprise me in the moment was that I referenced. Okay, so actually this is kind of like a timing appropriate considering that the World Cup is happening today. My brother and I used to have a GameCube. We still, I think we might have like put it in long-term storage now. I don't even remember if it's still around. I think it might not be. But we used to have a GameCube, and my brother used to love those like sports games, you know, like FIFA. Actually, it was mainly FIFA. He was a big football guy, my brother. So he used to love FIFA, and so whenever most FIFA games are made by Electronic Arts, EA. Whenever you booted up that game, it made this very, very specific sound. It had like a very specific jingle, which was EA Sports. It's in the game. In that exact kind of tone of voice. And I just remember that forever now. That's just gonna be in my head forever. Okay. So what I'm gonna do here... you know what? No, puppet hands. I'm gonna do, like, Muppet hands. I don't give a darn. Although I will try to, like, drive them back a little bit. Hang on. So I'm gonna give myself, like, puppet hands, but I am gonna give, like... Hang on. I do want to try and... Hang on. See... I do want to try to at least get, like, the finger joints correct. Yeah, because we got 3 finger joints. That's how human hands work. I imagine. At least as far as I can recall, that's how human hands work. Oh, hydrate, thank you. Okay, grab this. And then this. Actually gonna raise this up a little bit. I'm also gonna make sure that it's not super wide. I need to make sure that these kind of like, what do you call? Not peter out. Friggin'... Yeah, it's not peter out, it's... What's the word? Taper. These taper to a point. Okay, scale on the y-axis. Scale on the y-axis. Actually bring this one out a little bit as well. GY. Okay, that works. If I add an additional cut here to make these into triangles... Yeah, that should be fine, actually, because I know that making polys in a mostly square model isn't good, but this still, like, creates squares, so I think that should be fine. Okay. So then the thing I need to do next is actually... do something similar for, like, the middle part here. Yesterday I was finished a bit of shading and I accidentally pushed this card. Oh no. Yeah, that's a move right there. Okay, so I need to... Okay, so this will go, like, above here. Okay. I think I know how to do this. Okay, so we're gonna need, like, a knife tool right here. No. That's gonna have to... Wait, okay, no, I've got an idea. I've got an idea for how to do this. Okay, I'm gonna, like, flatten this. I'm gonna inset this. No, hang on. Come on, brain. I know you know how to do this, brain. The difficult thing about having, like, this square logo on my friggin' body here... Huh. Actually... Okay, I've got another idea for how to do this, but it's gonna it might take a bit of work. So I could just make a new plane layer, and then just paste it on top of my body when the time comes, but I'm not sure that'll be a great idea. I don't know how that'll look like if I like rig it. So that's gonna be an exciting question for future paps to figure out. Oop. Jostled my camera there. Okay, let's just get rid of that for the moment. So I think our main concern is going to be that kind of like mountain-ish shape. Okay, so... Okay, so here's what we can do. Okay, we can have that right there to kind of simulate the thing, and then this will the rest of the stripe right here will be white. We can do something similar back here. And then... Think, come on here, brain. Don't fail me now, brain. Okay, yeah, my brain failed me. I got no idea how to do this just yet. I think using that plane idea that adding a new plane on top will be the best solution for the moment. Okay. So then I think the next step is probably making the helmet. The good news is... Oh, wait. No, I should probably do the shoulder pads first. Okay. Grab these. There it is. Okay, I'm gonna inset these parts here. Oh, what's going on there? Hang on. Something weird's going on here. Okay, I think... Oh god, there's so... No. What is that? What is going on there? It's like a weird... Oh no, okay. Alright, never mind. Crisis averted. That should be fine. This is gonna be completely fine. Okay. It's very difficult for me to describe like what's going on because my brain has to go like a mile a minute focusing on how to solve the problem. But essentially, it's a little weird there, but it's not going to be a problem. So I'm going to Alt-E extrude faces along normals. That looks awful, but we can work with it. Oh god, okay. Yeah, I think... Oh god, okay. Oh... Oh, I'm not sure what's going on. You got armor. Yeah, I got armor. Just like in this part right here. And I feel like it's a little weird that people don't think of helmets as armor anymore. Like, helmet is armor, I believe. Helmet can be armor. Okay, is this the point that I want? GX or Y, and then GZ or GX. Oh, I don't know enough about what's going on down. Okay, I'm just gonna like undo it until before this. Okay. Oh god, that was harrowing. Should I just extrude this along the normals? I feel like I'm almost overdoing it with like that insetting the faces. Yeah, this works. I was definitely overthinking it. Let's see how this looks like with in the fully rendered mode. It's okay. So I think we gotta like. There we go. Your armor got upgraded. Yeah. Yeah. I finally got myself some tactical upgrades for my rice body, which is good considering I only have like 1 hit point. Yeah, I'm like an RPG horror game character. RPG Maker horror game character. Granted, it's extremely difficult to put a good rice bag down, but like, you know, permanent like. But I do got only 1 hit point, you know, so I need to spend it wisely. I am worried that this is gonna like look weird though. When I say look weird, I mean like it's not gonna make sense because wait, hang on. Okay, no, that's fine. GZ? Nope, hang on. Oh god, what's going on now? Okay. Gonna try to... Okay. Okay, now I think I understand what's going on. Okay. I can work with this. I can work with this. God, I love it when... I actually do legitimately like it when my art programs send me into like a blind panic, because it feels like I'm back in my element. Like, it feels weird when things are going too smoothly. I need a little bit of panic in there. Okay. Oh my god, okay. I've said okay like 15 times today alone. Which should kind of show you about how okay it actually is. How's the 3D? Going good, how you doing? We have... All you need to know is rice bag. All you need is a rice bag and it looks like you got a knight's armor. Yeah. Unfortunately, I do have a helmet in this mode. Okay. How did I do this the last time? Actually, I think it's fine if I just don't have anything here. I'm just going to add a new object in the object mode for the helmet. Yeah, the good news is at least from like this perspective, it doesn't look super weird. Like, nothing about this looks super weird except maybe like the crotch area. That's looking a little strange, but that shouldn't be anything we can't handle. You're so wide. Yeah. Listen, thumbs the brakes when you're Ryzaman. If you can't be wide, you can't be Ryzaman. That's just how it is. Okay, put that up here. It looks like I have such a tiny head with this. Okay. And I gotta do something real quick. I don't know why I'm feeling so out of it today. Oh yeah, speaking of being out of it, I learned this morning that I'm pretty sure it's a hoax, but I learned this morning that apparently there was an incident in the UK where did you ever get your coffee? I did actually. I went to the McDonald's. I got myself one McGriddle and a normal McMuffin and one large coffee, a double. Thank you very much. And it actually went down quite smooth. Thank you for asking. Auto mirror. There we go. No, why are you rotated like this? Hang on. Oh god, something went wrong here. I don't know why I can select the ones on this side as well. That feels weird. Do I have like symmetry turned on or something? No, that shouldn't be right. But yeah, I did get my coffee. Thank you for asking. Okay, so I think maybe what happened is that I need to go back to like the very beginning of this. What about the British? Oh, right. Okay, thank you for reminding me, actually. In the UK, there was an incident I think yesterday night, where apparently, I'm pretty sure it's a hoax because it doesn't look real, and I don't know why they would just have a giant Christmas ornament lying around. But apparently, there was an incident where a Christmas ornament the size of a small car, it was like one of those like Christmas baubles, you know, like the ones that are like shiny. Apparently, it got loose from somewhere and it went rolling down the street on like a crowded not a crowded highway, but like, you know, a fairly decently crowded downtown road, and it bumped into a couple cars and buses. I think it's a hoax because like it looks like the video of it looks fake, and there's only been one source of it so far. But I do think that it's kind of incredible that like, imagine you're like walking down the street in the UK in the middle of the night, and you're just kind of like minding your own business. This makes it look like I have very tiny eyes. Imagine you're like minding your own business, and then all of a sudden a friggin' Christmas ornament rolls up on you, and suddenly you're living the Escape from the City level from Sonic Adventure. Like it would be the worst, especially given like all the economic bullshit that's going on in the UK right now. I would have just had like enough at that point. I'd be like, okay, I need to get out of this country. Like I don't know about like the actual current residents of the place, but like that would have been the breaking point for me. I'd have been like, yeah, no, I'm leaving. I'm leaving the UK. This year's already been so weird that this might as well happen. The aftermath? Yeah. Yeah, no. It's definitely a bad thing that happened, but it is like, you have to admit that it's pretty funny that it happened that specific way. It's just so stupid. I'm trying to figure out, right, like what kind of shapes I'll need to use to make the helmet. So you can see that it's kind of like supposed to mimic my open mouth, like ah. You can see that, right? Like you can see how it mimics that. But a couple of these points are going to be a little bit more difficult, such as like the square part on top of the helmet. Let's see here. Oops. Yeah, okay, I think this will work. Okay, yeah, that works. Yeah, that's what happened. Oh yeah, that also, speaking of like Christmas. Okay, so I'm gonna like quickly break down the brain path for you. Christmas, jingle bells, jingle. Um, I feel like I have to do that sometimes, otherwise it'll look like I'm just full of non-succateurs. Anyway, apparently YouTube is trying out like a new jingle for itself. Yeah, like you know how like Netflix has like that boom sound like when you watch a program? YouTube apparently is trying to make one of their own. And it sounds something like brum pa-ding. And like there was this entire article that I read about like how they kind of try to make the noise. Okay, there we go. But yeah, they had like this entire article explaining how they came up with the sound. It was super weird. Like listening to design people in like corporate contexts talk about like their design decisions is always super weird. Like if you've ever seen the Pepsi logo design document, you'll know what I mean. In case you haven't seen it, there was a design document that was released for like the Pepsi. So you know that hang on, brains are going all over the place today. So the Pepsi logo is very easily recognizable. It's like a red and blue kind of affair, if you will. It's a red and blue thing, and what I found out is that apparently somebody like declassified one of the design documents they used to make that. And it's absolutely buck wild, because what ended up you look at you read this design document and you're like, okay, so they're saying that like so many things went actually into developing it. Like it had a what the fuck? Hang on. The Pepsi logo had a lot of things going into it. So, for example, like they use like the rotation of a planet. I'm on the wrong side. That's why it's not, the knife tool isn't working properly. Like it accounted for like the rotation of the planet. Like it tried to like mimic the path of Earth around the sun. It tried to do like a bunch of different things, none of which in particular made sense. It was just a very strange experience. Yeah, a musician called Lemon Demon actually made a song about it called Redesign Your Logo. Kind of like parodying it, and it really is a good song. Okay. Oh god, okay. Just came to sniff. I'm gonna eat me food and sleep. Good on ya. Oh wait, no, I know how to do this now. Okay, bring these down along this thing. No, that's not gonna work. Actually, I mean, this is pretty good by itself, honestly. I'm trying to figure out right here how I should approach the helmet shape, because there is like a little kite shape in the middle. Okay, so I'm gonna like maybe down the middle here. Oops. I keep accidentally hitting H instead of G, and that kind of hides everything, which is freaking me out a little. Yeah, honestly, I think this is the best we're gonna get. It's not gonna be a particularly pretty model, but it'll work, I think, for our purposes. God, I really am super wide, huh? Theoretically, that's not how wide I actually am. Because, you know, this is with, like, clothes on, so I should probably, like, tighten it up a little bit. Yeah, unwiden myself just a touch. I'm also still not happy with, like, how this, like, crotch bit is coming along, so I'll need to, like, tighten that up as well. Scale that on the y-axis. There we go. Yeah, that looks a lot less cartoonish. Not that this was ever not going to be cartoonish, but, like, you know, it's got, like, slightly more reasonable proportions, I feel. Shift X. Okay. Dissolve edges. No, that's not gonna work. Oh wait, how about here? Dissolve edges. Or delete edges. Yeah, there we go. Let's take a look at this in this space. Okay. I think with that, we're at rice. I told you, it's under a helmet. There's no rice. It's under a helmet. Okay, let's see. Oh, right, I still need to do one more thing, which is to add a plane in the middle here. Alright, so I'm going to go back to object mode. Hang on. Gotta, like, do one more thing in edit mode, just real quick. Delete edges. Delete edges. You should make it look like you're holding a bag of rice. Well, that might be a little bit beyond my capabilities at the moment, I'm afraid. But not a bad idea. Old square ass. Alright. Hang on. Yeah, okay, that looks pretty reasonable. Alright, now I'm gonna go back into object mode. I need to add a plane. It's a very short and small plane. What kind of... Okay, so scale... Okay, rotation. I'm gonna need rotation first. So rotation X 90. Scale that down. Bring that up. Bring that forward. Scale that on the Z-axis. I feel like I'm putting a license plate on myself. Alright. Actually, I gotta bring back the X-ray stuff so I can actually see where I'm putting everything. I wonder if there's like a way to figure out like which kind of incline a certain face is on. Like if I go here and click on this part here, median X, view, edit, rotate angle. Hang on. Okay, I think... Okay, the rotate tool is relative to everything, but I need to figure out, like, what angle this is at. Mean bevel weight, mean blah 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 weight. What's this? Such the current view from perspective orthographic projection? Nah. I'm gonna drink some water. Oh yeah, here's another nutty thing that I found out happened. Have you guys ever heard of something called Evernote? Yeah. Back in like the 2010s, I remember like a lot of like on almost every business computer that I like saw, they had like Evernote as one of the default applications. So it was it was like some kind of like note-taking application. Oh god, what is... Okay, I see. Yeah, Evernote was a note-taking application, and note-taking and note-sharing, specifically. Apparently it's been recently acquired by a smaller firm called, like, Bending Spoons. Great Wall of China is made with sticky rice. Now, I'm not sure that's... I'm not sure that that's true. I don't think the Great Wall of China is made with sticky rice at all. Yeah, I actually have seen the Great Wall in real life. My family and I went to visit it one time. It was dope as hell. Like, we walked for a long time on it, and it was just like massive. It's one of those structures that you can see from space, right? So it's natural that it's like just friggin' huge. But yeah, I've been to the Great Wall before. I don't remember it being made of rice, but if you insist, I'll take your word for it. It has sticky rice in it for durability. I mean, like, I imagine there's a lot of stuff in there, right? Because, like, the thing is, right, the Great Wall of China was built, like, with what was essentially prisoner labor. So there's definitely, like, the corpses of at least a few guys down there. I mean, the thing is as well, right, like, construction materials are kind of weird back in the day. Because, you know, these days we have, like, you know, construction putty, we have, like, concrete, rebar, we have all kinds of different stuff to kind of secure our buildings. But back in the day, you didn't have all that kind of neat stuff. You needed to, like... You needed to just kind of, like, use whatever was handy. Like, I remember reading a book in middle school that mentioned that, you know, they built a log... Like, this family built a log cabin to outlast the winter. And they ended up needing to use... They had clay to build it with, but for the places where they couldn't use clay, they just kind of like had to patch it up with grass, which was awful with insulation. You know, because they had a limited amount of clay. They couldn't, like, just clay up the entire place. So what they did is that they had to use grass for some places, and they even noted that in the winter, where the places where they patched it with grass, it was colder. I'm worried about this face right here. I'm sure it's fine. Alright, let me go to the shading part. Alright, so the body... Okay, so this one has one. So I'm gonna add a texture, image texture, right here. Wait, no, first I need to, like, do the UV unwrap and everything. Hang on. We ain't done here. Not by a long shot. Also, I need to do something for the belt as well. Can I, like, hang on. I'm gonna select this face right here. Can I possibly introduce... Rice can last a long time. I mean, that makes sense. It is dried and hulled. So it does make sense that it would last for a long time. Okay, so I'm gonna hang on. I'm gonna scale this along the normals. Oh, this might be tricky. Okay. Wait, no, I know exactly what I can do here. Extend this out a little bit, and then just... Hang on. Gotta scale this part along the normals. Or yeah. Just do this on the y-axis. Or the x-axis, I'm sorry. And then inset this face. Boom. Oh god. Ah, okay, crunchy wrists. Those are some crunchy wrists. Yeah. I played Katamari yesterday, and I didn't realize how long I'd spent playing it until I actually looked at the VOD, and it was like 3 hours long. God, Katamari is a really fun game. I can't wait to play it next week. Hang on, I gotta check out the... Whoa, I don't like that. Get me out of there. Get me out of that viewpoint. Okay. Yeah, I feel like that's probably fine. I wish it were a little bit bigger, but that can't be helped. You know, that's just how it goes sometimes. Okay, so now we get to do the fun part of making UV grids. So, UV mark seam. If that's a helmet with no rice, what if it was a rice bowl that the rice was falling out? I mean, it's kind of open up there already. If I shake my head a little too roughly, you see, I practice qigong meditation, so I know how to move my head without spilling any rice. It took years of concentrated effort, but I finally managed to achieve it. If I just have it in a bowl, that's gonna go flying. All right, that's just gonna. It's not gonna be great for anyone involved, least of all myself. You know, it's not fun when my rice falls out. Okay, it's not. It's kind of a life or death situation for me. Okay, anyway. Moving on, though. Alright, hang on. What if I, selected this part here? Loop tool select. Nothing doing? Okay. Okay, UV, mark seam. Okay, gonna need to mark a seam for these guys. This guy here. Backup rice. I don't think I have backup rice. Well, no, it just kind of Listen, when I lose the rice in my head, it just kind of refills naturally, alright? It just kind of goes back after a little bit. So that's the good news. The bad news is that whenever my bag of rice head is empty, that means I am unconscious. I am just not there. I am gone for the time being. Alright, hang on. Hang on. And select this one, and we should mark that one as a seam. Select this part here, mark that as a seam. That's what the bag of rice that you should carry around is for. But... That's actually a really funny idea, though. Conceptually, just if you're worried about blood loss, just carry a bag of blood, 5 head. Well, you should hire me. I got good ideas. Yeah, no. Yeah. That's like if I said to you, if you're worried about blood loss, just carry around a bag of blood, 5-head. Like, you understand, like, you need to be able to have blood to put your blood back in. And sometimes you don't have that luxury. Alright, hang on. I gotta do another thing as well, is... Yeah, I have another one of these, like, triangle patterns on my legs. So I'm gonna need to do two things. First of all, I'm gonna need to... go back to, like, vertex selection. I haven't thought that far yet. Yeah, I mean, okay, that's fair. You know, the idea is still in, like, its nascent state. I shouldn't try to judge it too harshly at the moment. Like, I know you're still trying to get, like, the seed capital flowing for that one. Alright. Knife tool. Probably just, like... is that a good idea? No, hang on. Knife tool. Here and here. Okay, yeah, that should work. What I also need right here is to get this part right here, inset it, and then extrude it out just a little bit for the little boot things that I got. The little bit of boot armor that I have. I gotta go. It looks amazing. Have a nice day. Yeah, get some rest. See you later. Thanks for dropping by. Okay. Alright, and then... what else should I do here? I feel like the boots are still looking a little bit like skis, so I need to go back and fix that a little bit. Y-axis. On the y-axis. Okay, I think that'll work. Okay, then... edge... or, yeah, no, I need to go into edge selection mode, and I need to start doing more of the UV unwrapping and everything. Let's see, how are we for time? Oh, we're about an hour and a half in. We should have a fair bit of time to mess around still. Okay. Mark seam. What I am gonna do real quick though is make sure that these vertices are actually like outward, like out a little bit. So hang on, Shift X. Grab this, Shift X. Grab this, Shift X. Grab this and then Shift X. There we go. That makes me a little less nervous. Also, it helped me notice that I need to, like... Hang on. I marked that one of these seams wrong. It needs to be right around... here. And here. Alright, edge, mark seam. Grab these clear seams. There we go. Okay, that should be the boot almost ready to go. I think like the only thing that's missing is like the boot heel, which is going to be right here. And besides that, I think we're pretty much ready to go, except for the helmet. I also need to mark the seams on the helmet. Oh, lordy. That's fine, though. That shouldn't take too long. Okay, edge, mark seam. Grab this, 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 and this. Yeah, the helmet might be the most complicated seam marking that I need to do. I also wonder if maybe to like simulate this like black bit on the side of the helmet, because I feel like it's going to be a little bit boring if I just have the helmet. What I could do is like I could select this loop down here and use that as the basis for the helmet, but I feel like that would almost be a little bit boring looking. Tough dilemma, tough dilemma. Yeah, I might as well try and do it. Beautify faces? Less degenerated geometry. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know you could. That was like an option. Alright. Let me just reselect that real quick. Mark seam. Oh, actually, wait, that could work. Hang on, this could work. This could work. Hang on. Alright, I'm just gonna select these faces right here. Unmark seam. Or clear seam. Yeah. Okay, this'll work. This'll work. Okay. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay. And I think like the license plate bit already has... You know, I'm not sure we need to mark seams for that one. I just don't think it's necessary. Stretching out. Okay. God, it's super weird. It's like almost noon for me, and the sun is like in a very weird position. I have like those Venetian blinds, and I'm sitting in like such... Wait. This is exciting. Okay. Yesterday I set up my new convertible desk. It's one of those like desks that you can sit in sitting down or standing up. So I'm about to pull a pro gamer move. Gonna like... I don't know if you can hear it humming. I'm raising the desk so I can stand while working. Okay, perfect. God, this is revolutionary. I don't need to be bothered by the sun anymore. The sun in my non-existent eyes, I mean. Yeah. I don't have eyes, I still get affected by glare. It's not a great deal. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I don't have a depth perception, I can't wear sunglasses properly. It's a bit of a shit deal, but it's, you know, it's what you get when you're a living bag of rice. Okay, anyway, now we can go to... Okay, UV editing. Actually, I might have to do... might have to mark seams here. Okay, mark seam. Okay. Now we can start doing this. Okay, so... UV unwrap. Right, okay. So I think we need to go into CSP right now. What we're gonna do is... Okay, I'm gonna take away Blender for a second. I'm gonna open up Clip Studio Paint, which conveniently enough is still on the Ryzaman thing. I'm gonna make a 1000 by 1000 canvas. I'm gonna plug in my drawing tablet, which will hopefully interface with CSP. Yeah, I hope I don't have to open and close CSP. It's always annoying when I have to do that. Where's my tablet pen? Oh, there it is. Okay, can I draw? No, okay, I need to open and close CSP. Alas. But yeah, it's so exciting that I can work standing up now. Like, this is gonna be life-changing. Yeah, the only thing I'm worried about, like, the only thing that I'm kind of worried about, so this desk has a 300-pound weight limit. That's like the upper amount of weight that you should, like, that's its weight capacity. The motors installed inside of it can lift around 300 pounds. The heaviest thing on this desktop is the CPU tower for my computer, which is on one side of the desk. So that's my main concern, is that it'll like have some unbalanced weight. But other than that, this situation is working out great. Okay, so Control A, deselect this bit. Deselect this bit. Fill that in. Deselect this bit. Man, I sometimes I wonder if like my texture maps look ugly to people who do them more regularly. There's no wrong way to do this, but I feel like they're like, whenever I make them, they look busted a little bit. Oops. Hang on, bring that back. Okay, I think that's all the colors that Ryzaman has. So then I think the main thing left to do is to make the logo. I wonder... Hang on, I might be able to do this in a very weird way, which is to select a big part in the middle here. Paint that pink. Okay, I've got an idea for how to do this now. Hang on. Alright, paint that pink. Use my normal brush size. It feels weird doing my signature without the little block, but that's fine. We're gonna work around that soon. Okay, export that to... I want to say like 50% of its size, so... No, more like 30%. 300 by 300 should be fine. Wait, I also need to add the sun logo. Hold on. Okay, so then the next part, I guess, would be adding the sun logo. I can probably do that in this section right here, actually. Okay, I'm going to do this in a vector layer. Oh yeah. Something that I also learned is... okay, so apparently one of the contributing factors to the current housing crisis, you know, besides all the other stuff, I learned that apparently one of the contributing factors is that that because of like the stuff going on in the Ukraine, the prices for construction materials have increased. But weirdly enough, because of that, a lot of people have been trying out DIY, and what that's resulted in is that Home Depot and Lowe's have like had some record profits in the year, which is super funny. Well, it's not really funny, it's actually kind of troubling, but it's strange that it's happening. It's one of those things where you go like, huh, I guess that makes sense. I am a little worried though whenever like a new wave of DIY pops up. Like, don't get me wrong, I love DIY, but I am concerned about like people who, you know, do it willy-nilly. Like whenever there's like a DIY trend, I always get a little bit afraid of like people who will like do it incorrectly. Like you know, the point of DIY is that you don't have like much formal training in whatever you're doing, but you do it anyway. And the problem with that is that when it comes to the problem with that is that when it comes to like construction stuff, that could be very easily lethal. Yeah, that's why I'm always a little concerned when like a new DIY trend pops up. But you know, I think if it's just like normal home improvement, you don't exactly need to be a genius to figure that out. Thankfully, YouTube Academy University is like there. Okay. Alright. I think right now the best thing to do is to maybe go into object mode and apply the mirror modifier. For most of these. So helmet. Wait, no, I do need actually to do one more thing in edit mode back in Blender. Which is to, yeah, edit mode, and then inset this. And get these out a little bit further apart. There we go. That created like a nice, even kind of space. Perfect. Okay. Now we're ready to rock and roll, I think. Right, I need to apply the mirror modifier to the helmet and to the, the body. Apply. Go here. Apply. And then what I'm gonna do just very... Oh, no, wait, that works. Never mind. Okay, I'm fretting over nothing. Okay. So let's go to the UV editing. Or actually, let's go to shading. Alright, first we export the finalized texture. Then, okay, so then when we go into image texture, we can do like open Ryzaman. Oh, that looks that looks really inappropriate. Let's just like, oh god, somehow it's worse from the back. Okay, that looks kind of inappropriate. Let's shift away from that for a moment. Okay, add a new material, add an image texture. I'm kind of worried about what this is gonna look like now. You know, on the helmet. That it looks like I have like a racing stripe down my middle. That's really funny. Okay, and then I guess the last one will be the license plate. I keep calling it a license plate. That's not what it is. It's my logo. But it feels like a bumper plate. Feast your eyes upon that. Okay. Alright, so UV editing. Alright, so for this one, UV unwrap. Alright. Now we can get cooking. Okay, and then we can scale that down like so. I want to put this in like the way that in the method that I can actually see the texture here. Okay, rotate that 90 degrees like. God, this is gonna be really weird looking. On the x-axis, on the y-axis. On the x-axis. And just gotta like line that up properly. There we go. Now you may ask yourself, but Pabs, if you have your stupid huge logo on there, doesn't that kind of defeat the entire point of a secret identity? And the answer to that is yes, absolutely. However, I gotta have my branding. Okay, here we go. And then we can just like put that down to this thing. Perfect. There we go. Now it should look proper. Speaking of looking proper, I want to fix up the body because, listen, there's no way to say this nicely. It looks like I got a peener on my belly. There's no nice way to say that. Okay. I go down to 0. Yeah, there we go. That looks a little bit nicer, at least. Oh, goodness. Sundays are always a very busy day for me. I try to, like, make sure that at least once a month I have a day off on a Sunday. I need to, like, try and commit to that more often. I think, because, like, it's not going to be possible these next few weeks. That's just how it is. Like, I know for a fact that these next few weeks are going to be quite busy for me. But, you know, I'm going to make the effort to, you know, at least more in the future, try and have more days off in a month. Oh god, why is the relative thing turned on? I don't know why this is... Oh, I see, it's because it's like this. Okay. There we go. Okay, that should work. Okay, link that up. Size that to 0. Select that, link that up. Size that to 0. Yeah. The nice thing about this part in particular is that it's just... Oh, wait, no, I got the right colors. Okay, I was worried for a second that I got the wrong colors on that, but those are the right colors. Okay. Oh, there we go. There we go, okay. Set that to 0, get that over here. Just like that. Oh, I see what happened, hang on. Yeah, I think because of the way that I did this, there should be like a little inset seam right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that to... Okay, first of all, I'm going to need to expand that like a lot. Alright, hang on, I actually got to go back a couple steps. There we go, okay. Select these two. Scale those up. Or scale them down just a little bit. Okay. We need to be careful with how we arrange this. Okay, and then just very quietly kind of just slip these closer like this. Slip this one closer like this. And then just grab these. Perfect, okay. Yeah, there we go. There we go. We got my belt going. I wish it were a little bigger, but that's the break sometimes. Okay. Then the legs. These are nice and green. Boots, those are white. This part of the boots are also white. I'm not sure why I changed that. Maybe I can make them pink? I don't know. Nah, they should probably be white. Okay, scale those down, move those here. This part of the process is always very kind of like, it's just, it feels a lot like busy work, but it's the kind of busy work that I find myself enjoying. You know, it's like, it's very rote, but it's got just enough to kind of like keep your head in the game. Alright, I think that should be the body just about ready to go. Old square ass. Okay, now we can do the helmet. Alright, so we need to UV unwrap this part. Or, well, no, I think we already UV unwrapped it. No, hang on. Yeah, we gotta UV unwrap this sucker. Okay, unwrap. There we go. Alright, so this part's gonna be pink. Select this part. This part's going to be white. Select this part. Yeah, this one might take a minute. Hang on. Okay, we're going to take all those, scale those to 0, and then put them on the black tile. Select this part. Scale that down to 0. Put that on the pink tile. And then do the same for this bottom part. Take that, scale to 0, and then put that on the black tile. Oh, wait, I know what I can do. Okay, I'm gonna select these two faces right here. and I'm actually going to move them to the white tile. Okay, I might need to mark some seams for those. Hang on. UV, mark seam. And maybe unmark the seam right here. Okay, UV, unwrap. There we go, nice and big. You can just shift that over here to white. And I think that's a pretty decent approximation of, like, what I wanted the Ryzaman helmet to look like. You know, conceptually. It's more like it's about as good as we're gonna get, but, you know, that's how we go. That's how we do it sometimes. I forgot to do the gloves. I need to go back and do the gloves. Okay, put that over here. Yeah, thankfully with these midden hands, I don't have to worry too much about anything. They're very well behaved, the midden hands. There we go. That looks even better. Okay. Is there anything else I can do here? Hi, Bunny. How's it going? Add props. Yeah, Pap's a Power Ranger. Yeah, sorry, I didn't see your message until just now. Okay, so which prop do you want? Lips or is that eyes? Eyes or lips? Hang on. I'm gonna. I don't have anything for eyes, but I do have like some nerd glasses that I can add. I did not know I get to pick. Yeah, no, there's a list. If you're on laptop mode or on the website, you can actually scroll down a little bit in the About section, and you can see the list of the list of props that I have available. Yeah, I think I have another redeem to add a prop. If you don't want to pick, I can just like randomize it. I can just like close my eyes and choose from the list. Yeah, it's a long list at this point. I had one randomize it, but yeah, okay. Let's see here. Alright, I'm gonna close my non-existent dies and I'm gonna hit the first one I see. Okay, it looks like we're adding the blazer jacket. Alright, hang on. I'm gonna like... I gotta look at myself in the mirror to put this thing on. There we go. I like how big I made the shoulder pads on this fucking thing. There we go. Very business attire. Very business casual on a Sunday noon. Okay. Yeah, I think we're just about done with Ryzaman here, actually. I'm not sure what else we can do for him. Maybe... I'm not 100% happy with the helmet. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not 100% happy with the helmet, but I don't know... I'm trying to figure out like how the topology for that would work if I wanted to change it. Became 80s rocker real quick. Yeah, I can't play any instruments, so I can't like in good faith add a a guitar or an instrument to this. But I do have actually like a microphone from the generic props. You can tell that this isn't the style that I normally use, but yeah, I do have like a microphone that I can add. Yeah, speaking through this microphone makes my mic quality go down a little bit, but you know, it's what can you do when you have a sound system like mine? But yeah, I think we're pretty much done with Ryzaman. I don't know what more I can do for him. He's about as perfect as it gets, unfortunately. You might not like it, but this is what peak performance looks like. Yeah, part of the experience. Yeah, in the 80s, that is something that I've noticed is that in the 80s, you know, because you had cassette tape recordings and everything, the music had like this very specific kind of tonal warmth to it. If you've ever heard of this band called the the Protomen have, you know, the first album they recorded, I think it's like called like just the Protomen. I'm gonna turn off the filter now. If you listen to a band called the Protomen, they do a lot of fun music. Basically, they turned the plot of Mega Man into a rock opera, which is incredible. But if you listen to some of their songs, the first album in particular was recorded in a specific way. Oh wait, no, I say another thing that I need to do. I need to mark the seams on the legs. Yeah, right here. Yeah, if you listen to their first album, you'll notice that it has like a very specific kind of like quality to the sound, and that like it sounds like it was recorded on like an 80s cassette player, and that is by design. They did that on purpose to kind of capture the kind of 80s vibe they were going for, which I find to be incredible. Like, I think that's so cool as a kind of like artistic choice. Man, I miss playing Mega Man games. I didn't get to play. I was obsessed with Mega Man for a good chunk of my childhood. Like, he was like my very first obsession. Like, I had like a Mega Man. I had like a bunch. This is during like the Battle Network era, where merchandising became like a huge thing. So I had like a few Mega Man Battle Network type toys. I played the hell out of those things. Those things got beat to shit because of me. Which is really fun. You can tell how much a child loves a toy by just how friggin' bodied it looks. No. That's Mega Mind. That Mega Mind is the. Yeah, I mean Mega Man is blue. Mega Man is blue. I'm not gonna pretend like Mega Man isn't blue. The no bitches guy is Mega Mind. Mega Man is a video game character. Mega Mind is a movie character. Totally different dudes. It would have been really funny if during my childhood I was obsessed with Mega Mind. I would have been. I already used I don't know how much mileage I got out of the no bitches meme. I did get a little bit of mileage out of it. But you better believe that if I had like had a Mega Mind obsession during my childhood, I would have been all over. I would have been like stink on that shit. Okay. But yeah, there we go. Now I've got the little boot. Stockings? Stockings might be a weird word for it. They're like socks, honestly. I don't know what to call like this part of the design. Like it's just part of the jumpsuit, I suppose. But it's just Are they like socks? Are they like thigh highs? They're just different parts of the jumpsuit, but they look like socks or thigh highs. There we go. But yeah, I think that's a Ryzaman model ready to go. Tights? Well, I mean, yeah. I don't know. Tights, like with tights, they go all the way up is the thing. They don't, hang on. Okay, there we go. And I'm gonna, like, move this light object so that I can actually grab it. G, Y... Okay, why can't I move the light object? Oh, wait, here we go. There we go. Yeah, here we go. That's a little easier to see, although I prefer the shading mode for that kind of thing. But yeah, there we go. But yeah, for me, tights are supposed to like go all the way up. Like, that's what makes them tights. Like, they're like pants, but tight. That's the way that I figured out that word as a child. Yeah, stockings. I think stockings can like. You know what? I'm not an expert on this. I'm not an expert on the etymology of different like Legwear? I don't even know where jeans come from. Like, I don't know where the word jeans come from. It's just a mystery to me. But yeah, I think we're ready to go right now. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna end stream right here. I'll be releasing a schedule on Twitter and my Tumblr for next week. Because all things considered, Twitter is not the greatest place to be right now. So I am going to start saying like, oh yeah, I have a Tumblr, so I can like, you know, plug that a little bit for the masses. I know that a few people like rewatch these streams, so like maybe they just hop on for a little bit. So I'm hoping I'll get lucky. Yeah. Also, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's weird that Tumblr is winning by doing literally nothing. It's nice though. Like I'm seeing a lot more VTubers on Tumblr, and it's honestly kind of heartwarming. Like, you know, Twitter used to be the big VTuber community, but I feel like microblogging is a much more appropriate place for VTubers. Like it feels much better to kind of like see what's up on there, because like on Twitter, you know, I don't know what it is about Twitter. It just never felt good for like live streaming. For me, at least. But yeah, I think that'll wrap it up. I'm gonna send out a schedule soon on all my social media. Stay safe out there, have a good week, and I will see you all later. Bye.